this political atmosphere and this landscape we have been viewing has been absolutely bonkers. Like, it has been one of the wildest things I've ever witnessed in my life. Absolutely ghetto. It's been so ghetto.
It's been ghetto.
It has been so ghetto.
It's been very, very ghetto, very trashy, very uneducational. It's just been all of those things.
Yes, America is very ghetto. Right. Welcome back, 5011 fam. Yes. It is D and Jay here, and y'all, guess what? It is season 2 of the 5011 Chronicles. Yes, we made it. Like, it feels good. It feels great to be here with the second season. And for those of you who don't know what we do here at the 5011 Chronicles, we are known for our hot takes. We discuss everything from politics to pop culture. We represent 5011 voices. We detail 5011 experiences, and we have and continue 5011 conversations. So thank you so much for the support. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. And welcome back to season 2 of the 5011 Chronicles. Yes, this is, I'm so excited. I mean, like, 2021 is here. Yeah. We are in full effect. This is, we had a little bonus episode come out after the new year started, but this is like our happy New Year's to you, 5011 fam. Like, it's good to be back in action and rocking. We both got to take some time and, like, a little vacay and spend some time with family and unwind and kind of come back a little refreshed. And we have a pretty interesting episode to kick this second season off with, but it's necessary. So yesterday was Inauguration Day.
It was.
And and here we are with a new president. So
right.
Before we get into it, this episode is really, we're going to do a quick little recap on some things that have happened before you guys have last heard us. And then we're going to go into, like, some of the events of yesterday. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. This is season 2 of the 5011 Chronicles. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Okay, so season 2, we're here. Inauguration Day was yesterday. There has been some crazy stuff to happen leading up to Inauguration Day that we haven't had a chance to talk about.
Right.
Because we had prepared and planned for the content that we had leading us into this year. And we had that little, our bonus episode talking about Auntie Monique. You guys got to tell us what y'all think about those takes on Auntie Monique, because I know we went there.
We did.
But not only did we go there, but it seems like the world seems to have lost its mind. Or not the world, but there were some wild banshees let loose. And
a particular group of people.
A very particular group of people.
A very Pacific group of people.
Right. Yes, Pacific. A very Pacific group of people. So let's rewind, because there were some things leading up. We've talked about the election. We talked about somewhat, we talked about the confirmation leading up in December, and how, in December, the Electoral College met and they chatted and they're like, yeah, the vote's good. Biden's going to be president. Let's go ahead and send this on to Congress. It is what it is. I mean, like
well, we all knew it was going to happen.
We all knew it was
everybody, but this Pacific group of people did not know.
And a Pacific leader.
Right.
So the gets to the Senate, and on the day that the Senate is voting, if I'm not mistaken, on the day that they're voting to confirm these votes, the last guy was having a rally, because this is the name that we will no longer give any attention to. It will not be spoken of. This is the equivalent of Beetlejuice. We will not be saying it. So the guy who was in office had, the last guy. I think that's what I'm going to call him. I really like that. It's got a ring to it. So the last guy, he was in there and he had this rally. And he was out here talking all this cash money, just, basically, to put it in legal terms, inciting a riot. Mm-hmm. That's what he was doing. He was telling them, I'll march with you. I'll meet you there. We can go tell them how we feel. Mm-hmm. Let's go give them a piece of our mind. Mm-hmm. And then that last guy got into his car and went on by his business. They're still right.
They're stealing this country from us.
They're still in the country.
Stole it from those other people.
We stole the land, we stole the country, we stole the work.
We stole the people who built the land.
The people who built it, come on. We steal.
How dare they steal something from us?
How dare they steal something from us? Exactly. You're right. Come on now.
On our land.
And what's crazy is the fact that I really think they believe this election was stolen. I think they actually believe it, because
that's
not only does
it sound
about
it, and it's the scariest part about it.
What?
It's because let me tell you, scariest part about it, because the blind following is the worst kind of following. It's the worst kind of following.
And that day was a prime example. That day was a prime example of what happens when the fool leads the blind. So give me your rundown on what happened the day of the riot.
Okay. So, I was getting my life with them CNN updates every time they popped up.
I'm like, this episode we're relying on our CNN analysts for this episode. So I need for you to give me, because I was at work, I was catching these by tweet and by CNN update, just the little headlines while I was working. Mm-hmm. So you got to get a play-by-play. I need you to tell me what you see.
Okay, so the tea of it is, what people are missing about all of this is that this was premeditated. This was
absolutely
planned. He said blatantly, he's been telling them, hey, on this day, this is when we doing this. On this day, show up. These people traveled for this.
They did.
They knew ahead of time. You got to understand. And remember, I was telling you how at that other job that I used to work at, how I was kind of privy to some of that information, and I would see some of the scripting and some of the emails and stuff that would go out to his supporters, where it's blatant lies and literally trying to incite people. And so, we get down to the day, and I don't know what it is about the Republicans. I don't know, because the people on the Titanic jumped off quicker than that. These folks, when I tell you, these folks waited to the last second. The boat was right up under the eye. It was right up under the eye. The water was right there. You waited to the last second to jump off. Girl, the boat under the water at this point. Y'all literally, these folks was the orchestra playing as the ship's going down. What is wrong with these people? They sit up there.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have to say, when the orchestra or when the band started playing in that scene, that gets me every time, because it's that realization on their face, well, guys, let's give it one last good go. This is it. We going to heaven with this song.
But the reality of it is, though, if you actually think about it, think about how long it's gonna take for them to drown. So really, it's we playing, but we got a lot of time to go by.
We got a lot of time to go. That's why they chose that long song. They're well, I guess it is what it is.
Sitting in the water, just floating, waiting to run out of air.
Yes, so sorry to interrupt, but I had to think about that. I was like, you know what? That is one of those moments in that movie for me where I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah. But so the people came, they showed up at their scheduled appointment with their leader, to come out and support their leader, because they wanted to get their country back that is being stolen from them by this vote that was going on.
Stolen.
And so they were let in by their comrades, the fellow coppers.
Right. Absolutely.
The Capitol.
Absolutely.
They were let in by their brothers and sisters. And they proceeded to storm the building. And not only did they just storm the building, they decided, oh, we about to tear this thing up,
We about
okay?
to
The
show
girls was in
out.
all of the offices, okay? They stealing the stuff. They taking pictures because they know white privilege, nothing's happening to us.
Nothing's
Capture
gonna
this
happen.
moment. Haha. Like, they just, child, they showed out. They showed
complete
out.
donkey. Like every bit of their ass was shown.
And I'm trying to figure out now. My brother, who was up there by himself, it didn't have nothing. Brother, you at the Capitol? They didn't give you nothing but this little piece of Billy Club. Like what?
Yeah.
They didn't give you nothing. Can you get a little piece of pepper spray or something?
Yeah, something. Like, I mean, or something.
Can he get
You're
a butter
security,
knife?
even if he's just security at the you're security at the Capitol building of the country. We're not just talking about
mace, okay?
City Hall. Like we ain't just talking about City Hall. We talk about the City Hall of the country. Like,
and the crazy thing about it is, so I had an incident. I had a run-in with the security up there at the Capitol before, right? So when I was a teenager, right, we were in DC with my grandma, and my grandma decided, oh, we going to the Pentagon today. And so we pulled up to the Pentagon today. No appointment, no prior call.
Oh, wow.
Just pulling up like, hey, you guys doing walk-ins today? Like, bury that. So we didn't even get to like a parking lot. When I tell you, they pulled us over so fast, like, hey, so what you guys looking for? Where you going? You lost?
Wow.
So that's how I know, like, I knew before I saw the video, I'm like, they had to let them in. Like, they were allowed in because we couldn't get nowhere. Okay? We was nowhere. And we was in the van. They said,
that's crazy.
Where y'all going? What you looking for?
Yeah, it's absolutely psychotic how that day went down. Because I was, like I said, I was working, and I just remember for some reason usually I'll be playing music from my phone at work, but this day I had my phone on me, and my phone was just kind of going off. Like it was just a lot of notifications, and something just told me to look, and I just like looked, and I was like, the Capitol building being stormed. Like, what do they mean? So I'm over here shook. Like, what is going on? What? And so I start to read, and I'm seeing what's going on, and I will remember one of the funniest things I saw on Twitter, because I was seeing these takes on Twitter, and I was seeing them on again CNN. I usually follow CNN. Someone was like, people over here asking, like, why are the police not doing anything about it? Like, they're like, you don't ask Hannah Montana why Miley Cyrus isn't out on stage with her. Like, you don't ask her. Like, that's not a thing that you do, like. And it was hilarious, but at the same time, it was very sad because it was true. Like, you could look at that. Any person with the least bit of common sense could have looked at that scene and realized it was an inside job. Like,
and they denied the governor's request for the National Guard to come in.
Exactly. So,
like, who would do something like that? Oh, I know who. Somebody who planned it. Somebody who was already in a bunker having a pizza party. Like, what?
Precisely. And, like, I just think what was really tragic about that day is the fact that there were lives lost. Like, in something that did not need to happen by any means whatsoever. It was absolutely senseless. It was absolutely careless. And I want to say the total was it, I want to say 9 people? Was it 7 or 9?
That I don't remember.
I want to say that it might have been 9. I know that there were, at first, the first report was like there were 4 people. And then more numbers started coming in after the people who had sustained injuries.
You see how secretive they were being with all the information? Like, all of this information was being kept so under wraps. If they were Black, we would have known everything about them.
Everything.
5 minutes after it happened.
If they would have had the names
of everybody who was killed.
It would have been called the Capitol Building Massacre.
And everything. Yep.
It would have been the massacre because those people would have been shot dead. Like, there's no question.
Because they really wasn't trying to, like, bring it. They really tried to, like, be vague and real, like, underneath the table, bringing up the killings. Like, they wasn't, like, just outwardly, like, oh, people, they didn't come out with people dying first. They was just like, oh, this person might have been injured. Oh, they died.
Shots were heard. That was, I remember that was one thing. They're like,
and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, these 6 people. It's like, wait, how many people was there? Like, geez,
that's what, and like, and I want to say that the final number was either 7 or 9. It was something like that. And I just think that it's absolutely tragic. Like, we just reached 400,000 deaths from COVID. You know, like, we're already losing people. At that, COVID was the #1 killer in 2020 of Americans. Like, what? Absolutely preventable.
And mind you, none of them people up there really had masks on. I was literally looking like, where are their masks?
I noticed that too.
It was a sea of people with no masks on.
What I have to say is my favorite thing about this rally and this this riot that came after it is the fact, yes, Lord, we thank you. They are prosecuting these people. They are finding them and they are prosecuting them. And I was like,
but you know why?
Oh, wow.
Because their people's lives were put in danger.
Their
people feared for their lives.
That's what it took. Because,
and now it's important.
I remember saying that. I remember saying that to somebody. They're like, oh, well, nothing's going to happen. I was like, I don't know. This time might be different because this time they've actually attacked the people who were supposedly on their side. You know, like, this time they're in their space.
More power than what y'all got.
Come on. And you remind them.
They feel some type of way. You know what? They feel some type of way. Oh, honey, you're going to jail.
You're going to jail, right? Locked up, they won't let you out. This is the truth.
You're going.
And I mean, what's crazy is if you really think about that situation, because I haven't really heard people say this word for real. I said it at home because I feel like this is where what we really witnessed was treason. Like, in my opinion, it was exactly what it was. Treason.
That was literally treason. What it was.
It was a little, but what blows my mind about this is nobody's saying, like, they're not doing. I don't know. I don't know why I would expect any different. But this is,
these are blatant buzzword. They're not gonna just say it.
Of course, they're not going to say it, but I mean, like, that's what.
But I do love listening to the people on CNN shade that man for filth during all of that. The shade was beautiful. They brought up everything and they called everybody exactly what they were. And I
know who I live for? I live for Don Lemon. I live for Don Lemon, and when he be going in, I really do, because Don Lemon goes in. But yes, so that was a little recap on some things that have occurred, you know, leading up to yesterday. Oh, yes.
So, and then we do have to bring up too, after that happened, everybody started dropping like flies and kept resigning here, left and right and up and down and jumping ship. Everybody.
That did.
First of all, how are you, the head of national security, talking about you resigning? Sir, we need you.
Like, what do you mean you're resigning?
And come to work, okay? We need you. Let's go.
You done waited this long.
But I'm like, if y'all don't keep them papers, keep your papers. We don't need it. We don't need it. Because at this point, it's too crazy.
Late. At this point, it's way too late. My thing is, what do you look like resigning 7 days before he's out of the office? That's stupid.
To be honest, they could have kept that impeachment. They could have kept it.
Let me tell you, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what is the point of impeaching somebody who's got 10 days left?
And then you still have to actually go, and then it's like you're going through a trial for what? Because he's already out of office.
He's already out of office.
So what is the point? To trial for?
What are we impeaching now?
He had already pardoned everybody about all the other stuff.
Yes. Yes. And we're gonna get into some of that too.
652,347 pardons.
Yes, not to mention all 8,000 his executive orders.
Okay.
But Right. But this has just been crazy. Like, this has, I think, been the most memorable. I mean, outside of the beautiful memory of Obama taking office and just how, memorable that was and how, it was very celebratory. This political atmosphere and this landscape we have been viewing has been absolutely bonkers. Like, it has been one of the wildest things I've ever witnessed in my life.
It's
The
been ghetto.
Absolutely ghetto. It's been so ghetto.
It's been ghetto.
It has been
exactly
so
what
ghetto.
It's been very,
And
very
I'm
ghetto,
just
very
like,
trashy, very uneducational. It's just been all of those things.
yes, America
Wrapped
is
into a
very
ball.
ghetto. Right. It's sad. It's so sad when you realize your country's ghetto. It's like our country, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. So that's after this little break. We're going to take a short break. After this little break, we're going to talk about some of the work that has been proposed and some of the things that are being done. And this is exciting. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll see you right after this break. What's up, y'all? Before we continue, I got to tell y'all about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. The creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor also distributes your podcast for you, so Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more platforms have access to it. And guess what? You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's the one-stop shop for podcasts. So what are you waiting for? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Now let's get back to these hot takes. All right, so welcome back. Before the break, we talked a little bit about, we did a little recap on the things that have been going on politically and socially and just, the riot. That was really the big one, the riot. And of course, like the people dropping like flies, of course, at the end. I just have to say, I was extremely tickled by the last guy's last day. Like, it was.
First of all, it was the quietest.
It was so quiet.
Uninteresting. Nobody cared. Nobody talked about it. I didn't even know it happened until after it happened. I didn't care it happened.
I think his second didn't even come. I think like he wasn't even going to show up or something like that because of like their little friction and frustration or whatever. I just it was hilarious to me. I enjoyed it, knowing that there was nothing.
He was waving at on his way out. Who are you waving at?
Because your last supporter, they ended up behind bars. Right. Come on. They're in jail.
And you ain't tried to help not a piece of them.
And you're not too far from those bars yourself. We'll see how this plays out. But
I didn't see you pardoning them.
Or what was the other thing? Because he did 143 pardons, and what is the other one called? I can't remember the name of it. But it's like pardons, I want to say, are for crimes that have been committed, and then the others are for charges, like maybe I think charges that are dropped. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember right now. It might come to me. But he did a bunch of them. And amongst them, no, it wasn't an expungement. It was something like it's not encampment, but the word is not far from that. Like, it's not far from encampment. There's an E, and I want to say a mint at the end. I don't remember, but it'll come back. It'll come back.
He did that E-mint thing.
He did that E-mint thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Look it up. CNN put it on their thing too. And they use the word.
Entanglement.
So, right. Goodness gracious. But amongst them he's actually done several pardons in the past couple of weeks. But I was just really, it kind of interested me to see Lil Wayne got one.
You better have got something out of that pandering.
Something.
Man, it better not have been for free.
Child.
If you gonna make a fool out of yourself, at least get something out of it.
Make a fool out of
I
yourself and
guess.
then sell the masters, not just your masters, but
And I
to
hope
sell
you got on the plane with him.
Right.
Did you wave too?
So then what? He exited the White House. Then he took a plane. He took, I want to say, the Air Force One. It was his last flight. Last flight
One
in Air
way.
Force One. One way. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but that is hilarious. One way flight to Mar-a-Lago. And they dropped him off. And I think he's even having, like, apparently there was some type of clause he put in with his establishment in Mar-a-Lago where people aren't allowed to, like, establish some form of residency there or something. It's something that he put, and it's keeping him from making it his permanent home. And it's hilarious. I think what goes around comes around. This is just the beginning of the hamster wheel of crap you're about to carry yourself through, buddy. So,
and
last guy's out.
I'm not there to see any of it because I hope I never see you again in my life.
I will be just fine.
I hope I never hear about it.
That would be just fine if I never see him again. But okay, so I'm going to yield the floor to our CNN analyst because I want to hear your breakdown of Inauguration Day. I'm going to chime in a little here and there, but I know that you got the scoop of the scoop. Again, you are our liaison to the president
Come
himself.
on, liaison.
Right. Joe Biden. So
yes, Bo.
Right. So I yield the floor to liaison D.
So let me just start by saying that this inauguration, if you've ever tuned into any previous inauguration before, I'm not going to assume that people have. So I'm just going to say, if you have, you saw this one, you saw how completely different it was. It was such a different atmosphere, such a different experience in both a good way and a, I guess, bad way. It just kind of shows where we still are.
Right.
Where we still are almost a year later with this panorama.
Right, this panorama.
But, and then let me just say, I'm not saying nothing else until I say Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Girl, you better dip and do it. You better step. You better push. Okay.
Word.
When I saw her come tipping through those White House floors, I said, I know that's right. You better say, this is still my house. I am letting y'all borrow it. Y'all are renting. This is still mine. She looked so freaking good. Her hair was on point. Her mask was on point. She just was on point from head to toe. Okay. Like, at that point, Barack was just the chauffeur. Like, she was the main event. Okay, we came to see her. I loved it. Kamala looked really good in her purple outfit. Kamala?
Very royal.
Kamala.
I think it actually is Kamala. I think it might I know that the world calls her Kamala.
People joke about it. Exactly. People joke about it so much that I don't even know what's the right one no more.
I think it actually is Kamala. I think the correct pronunciation is Kamala.
The joke ain't funny when you forget what's the right way.
When you forget which one is correct, right?
But
we can call her Kamala. I'm okay with that.
Great.
It's blacker to me.
I'm gonna call her Auntie.
Auntie, yes, Auntie Vice President.
Auntie VP.
Right.
So Auntie VP she looked amazing in her purple outfit. You could tell she was so happy. And so regarding that situation, there are mixed reviews amongst the people, because some people, while it's an amazing sight to see, and we are hoping and praying that her heart and mind are all in the right place. I know that there are people who are conflicted because there are certain views and policies that she's supported in the past that they don't necessarily agree with. So, there's always that, but I think overall it's an amazing image to see for the generation underneath us, because they need that. To see a Black woman as a vice president after seeing a Black man, because it's like with even with that, when you're a girl, you're like, well, of course a man would get the opportunity, but they not gonna pick no woman. Like, a woman would never. And a woman did. Like, hey.
A woman did, yes.
So I think it's still an amazing image to see, regardless of, your personal views on her personal.
And I think what's really awesome about it is, regardless, like you said, of what people say or how they feel about her, she has made history as the first female Black South Asian vice president. Like, all three of those first. She is literally the highest ranking woman in American political history. So I think, again, regardless of opinions, that is a remarkable feat to accomplish. And then for her to be, of us, to me, I just feel even more proud. She's fam.
I made a Lori watch it.
Yes. And see, that's something like she might not have understood what was going on, but that's a memory that you'll always have with her. It's like seeing
she was talking through the speeches. Well, some of the speeches, girl, you can talk through them. We don't care about those. But she started trying to talk through Biden's speech. I'm like, girl, I'm trying to hear what this man trying to say, so I can make sure that I remember what he had said, so that I can be like, I remember when you had said.
Right. Hold him accountable. Exactly.
Because I'm trying to see, like, okay, now what you saying? Okay, now I'm gonna pull this up. Now, when we get down here, don't be backpedaling.
Don't be acting like you didn't say this back on Inauguration Day.
We're going to get into that.
That's what you had said, right? Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah. And then for her to what I thought was even more amazing is she was sworn in. If I'm not mistaken, Sonia Sotomayor is the first Hispanic woman to be a Supreme Court, to be on the Supreme Court. So I think that was even more remarkable, just having the two of them. That was a brilliant, beautiful moment for, I think, women in history today.
Yeah.
And women of color.
And then too, for women to see, because let's not sleep on our new first lady either. She is
absolutely Dr. Jill Biden.
Okay,
absolutely.
And to see, as a woman, to look up there and to see all of those women up there in they pantsuits. Let's be clear, in they pantsuits coming through, and it's like, to think, not that long ago, we were supposed to be seen and not heard. Not that long ago. Where you wearing pants to, girl? Not that long ago.
That was not long ago at all.
You was a heathen. You had some pants on not that long ago. Not that long ago, they wasn't seeing it for us. They still don't really see it for us. We still, trying to at least get paid, but to see that, and to see all those women up there, so powerful and so impactful in everything that they've done, like, that's dope. That's dope. And to be able to share that with my daughter, that's imagery that we need. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I feel like sometimes we forget to just take a moment and try to just find the silver lining and bask in it for a second. And we'll get to the other stuff after that second, but just take a second and enjoy that one little moment. Find something happy and find a little peace in the moment. And then we can address the other stuff, when it's time to address the other stuff. Because we
exactly
notes, but we are also absorbing the moment and appreciating the blessings of what are there.
And it's like being that, that really is the act of mindfulness, like being present in that moment and just being able to appreciate what is there. So yes, absolutely. So of course I was working all day and I was barely able to catch a ton of the Inauguration Day celebration and all that good jazz. So I know that you got to catch bits and pieces of his speech in between my goddaughter, in between her speech,
right,
her State her
like,
State
girl,
of the
now
Union.
you want to talk
Right.
now? Get you
But
serious. What is you?
what were like some of the big points that you took away? Because I made a couple notes on some things that I got to read during my break and whatnot. But
So I'll just kind of give like a general, start off with like a general, and then we can kind of dive into little specifics. But basically, his speech was surrounding and the message of it, and kind of what he's been running on this whole time has been unity, bringing the
mm-hmm.
people back together. You know, being
Yes.
a president of everybody, all the people. You know what I mean, and really addressing, and I commend him for actually saying it, because a lot of people, even when they talk about it, they talk around it. And
Mm-hmm.
he actually addressed directly the issues. He said them.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you know him, boo.
Right.
I know you know him.
Right.
I got my eyes on you. I got my good eye on you, because I know you know them now. But I appreciate it being so blatantly addressed now and not danced around and talked around, because it's
mm-hmm.
something that we need to deal with. And I really appreciated that. And that was, for me, it kind of feels like even with his cabinet, you see the people that they're bringing in, you see the
mm-hmm.
people that they're electing, and it's like so much diversity. Shout out to Stacey Abrams.
Yes.
Shout out to Stacey.
Yes, shout out to Stacey.
For a moment. Because, yeah, she did that. Shout out to Georgia. We did that.
Right. Georgia, yes. Thank you to our Georgia voters.
We did that. We ate that.
Yes. Flipped Georgia. Hello. She's blue. We love it.
But yeah,
and so
what were some of the things you got from it?
I caught of course I love the fact that he ran on unity, and that was really what he talked about. And I love the fact that he even says, you know, thank you so much to the people who supported me in getting here. And, you know, I'm a president who not just supports those, or I'm a president who represents not just those who supported and helped me get here, but those who did not support me as well. So I want you to know that I am there for you as well. Like, I'm your president also. And I'm, you know, I'm going to be doing that job. And he said something that, to me, when you speak in terms of the soul, that does something to me, because not everybody speaks of the soul like they, you know, like we should be when we're connected, when we're rooted. And not that I'm saying he's rooted. Let me just be clear, because I don't know him. But what I did like is when he said that he's putting his whole soul into this, and that he is going to 100% put everything that he can into bringing this country back together and into unifying people. And I just think, like, I actually wrote, he wanted to ask every American to join in together in uniting our nation, because that's what we need now more than ever. And I completely agree. Like, the only way we're going to get where we need, and I remember I was reading something else he was talking about, where he went through all the issues our country's facing that need to be addressed right now. And he was like, that, you know, there's pandemic, and there's like a recession last year, and there's, you know, of course, we got to cover all the racial injustices and police brutality, and not to mention the climate crisis, and not to mention anarchy, you know. So, like, there's a list that is growing.
Not to mention we're falling apart.
Not to mention we're just
burning,
falling apart.
we're on fire.
Like, on fire. Like, but I mean, like, it's crazy, because he really does have a plate full of crap. Like, he's got a lot of work to do. And the fact that he did say he is going to put his all into this, I have respect for that. But what really did it for me was when he, on his first day in office,
wait, before we go there,
because you know I was about to go there. You know I was about to do it.
Because I was gonna say something, and I was gonna segue to it too. So before we go there, because I just want to talk about too, because I know a lot of people are skeptical, which we all have a right to be. After 400 plus years, we have a right to be skeptical when it comes to certain things and certain people. And I feel like a lot of people, because right now, because of the way the world was when they were running during the election period and everything like that, you almost literally, you had to run on unity to even for people to want to hear what you got to, because that's literally what your opposing side wants. Like at this point, that's all they want, and they've made it very, very clear. So you have to tell these people what they want to hear. And I'm hoping for like him to be more of like a Jimmy Carter, like I'm hoping that like because Jimmy Carter kind of came in real peaceful. He didn't really cause no problems. Jimmy Carter was cool and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of telling the people what the tea was. He was keeping it cool. Like I needed to be like, tell me what you be real with me, be honest with me. Like don't tell me all this and then you get there. And then now I'm like, all right, now what happened when you had said that? Because that's how it be.
Right.
And you can't and now and I'm in Georgia, so I got a little extra chip on my shoulder because you had told us that if we had did this for you, you could get the stuff done. So we didn't did this for you.
Let's get the stuff done.
You ain't got no excuses. Like you literally ain't got no excuses. What you gonna do? It's your move. Like what you gonna do? Don't let me down, though. Don't let me down.
Oh, but was that my segue? Can I use that one? Okay, so yes, here we go. And I don't think he's going to let us down because in the first day, paper still wet with the ink of the pen. He said, let me sit down at this office. Come on, I got stuff I need to get done. 17 executive orders. Never in history that many. I think the most done on a first day was like 2. Like 17. And I mean, many of them were to reverse the last guy's foolish and controversial mishaps. But I mean, things like a mask for interstate travel. That's absolutely necessary. A mask mandate for federal buildings and rejoining the Paris Climate Accord, which is, for those who don't know, the Paris Climate Accord is a collection of over 200 countries who are working together to deal with climate change, which if you don't realize how bad the climate issue is right now, you're really not paying attention. Like our summers are getting hotter and our winters are getting colder, and that's not natural. You got to realize that something is out of whack. California should not be on fire every other season. Like that's not what should be going on.
Exactly.
So, you got to realize something is not right, and it's really what the world has done to the country. So I mean, to the planet. So it is important for us to get on, some type of green. Like whether you start recycling, whether you cut down your carbon, but just do something. You got to do something to really reduce, because we've only got one Earth. We've only got one. And we're killing
y'all don't want to talk about them greenhouse gas emissions, because then y'all gonna have to talk about that stuff that y'all don't want to give up.
Exactly. And there's some things that we
y'all would have had that conversation.
We should really be investing some money in some alternative sources of energy. Come on now. I
definitely have some stock in Tesla.
Come on now. Because Tesla is definitely ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And let's be clear, because people be thinking like, oh, Tesla cars. Oh, no, Tesla solar panels.
Tesla does a lot.
Tesla solar energy. The new way. Would I tell you Tesla is going to take over the future? Just wait on it. And I'm going to be a part of it. Just wait on it. In my Tesla. Whip it in my Tesla.
Yes, speak it and manifest it.
In my Tesla. Sponsored by Tesla.
I'm all sponsored by it. We'll take that too.
Okay.
Come on now. And so just hearing his speech, and then for me, what was really moving, I saw a picture, and I got to read a little bit about the picture, because like I said, I was taking the moments where I could to get what information I could, because I was trying to stay on top of it. But my job, we got a lot going on right now. So we got a lot going on. So I saw a picture, and it was Obama, Clinton, and Bush. They were all socially distanced, and they all had given, I want to say, speeches at the Celebrating America event that came after the inauguration. And they were all giving speeches in support of Biden. And I just, hearing the things that they were saying, like, yeah, you've spoken for the people, now it's time to lead the people, and like you've done this and we support you in that, and just seeing these presidents across different lines, across party lines, being able to support someone. And I mean, yeah, two of them were Democratic and only one was Republican, but still, we're talking about excluding the last guy, the three presidents before him coming together and saying, look, unity's the message. We need to get on one accord. Let's get together. We social distanced. We got our masks. Y'all need to do right. And it was a nice image to have, because I don't know if it's just me, but because there's been so much chaos, sometimes seeing just those small moments of, nostalgia, or those small moments that tug at your heart and just really put things into perspective. That was a good moment to me, being able to see that picture, because it helped my day. It just helped me like take a deep breath and be like, everything's still fine. Like everything is, like we're all still good over here in these streets, at least my streets, and my people are good. So we can take a deep breath.
No, 100%. I feel that. Oh, and we also have to bring up the poet. We completely forgot about Amanda Gorman.
Well, no, I was going to talk about all the performances, because there were some performances all day.
I wanted to point her out specifically.
Let's start with
Black
Amanda
Queen.
Gorman, for
Shout
sure.
out to Amanda Gorman. Okay, coming in for the poetry for the inauguration. Love to see
Youngest
it. She
poet
looked
laureate.
Beautiful. Love to see it.
And I haven't gotten to read all of her speech. I've read part of her poem, excuse me. Haven't gotten to read all of her poem, but I've read part of it. And I read her and listened to part of her interview when she was saying that she was inspired by the riot to write a message of hope and ingenuity and healing. And I just, I live for things like that. And again, she's the youngest poet laureate ever and then to speak at the, inauguration, that's amazing.
And that was really the theme for the whole inauguration, really was like hope and unity and moving forward and fixing what's broken. And that's why I'm like, I really, really hope that after all this time, this is a first step and it's not another one of those situations. Because it's easy for us to think that way, because it's happened to us literally every single time. But you gotta hope for the best.
Right.
And I'm really trying to, because there's so much has happened that I feel like now, and let's also be clear, because I do feel like a part of, because it's still politics, right? And so his legacy will play a part in that. If you don't stand on what you said, like he's gonna have to stand on something, because your legacy, like his legacy, would be ruined if he didn't. Because at the place that we are now as a people, and with social media and all that, your legacy will be done. It'll be done, just like the other one. You see how quietly he left,
right? The last
whisper in the wind.
I forgot to say something when I was talking about those executive orders. There were a couple others that Biden has written in that are truly remarkable and worth saying. So, trans people in the military, he's working to reverse that ban, which I think is extremely important, showing himself as an ally. To the travel ban on all those Muslim countries, and not just Muslim countries, but other countries as well that were countries that were specifically people of color, that is being lifted. He's creating a role for an official point person on COVID who reports directly to him. And I think that is needed. Like, that should have been created when this thing popped up a year ago. But again, the last guy wasn't really known for being intelligent. So we're not going to act like that's how he thought. And then finally, this is, I think, super important. Of course, there's also going to be some things that are related to immigration and citizenship that they're going to be working on. But the wall,
getting those people back with their
families, of the wall, that right there. Yeah, I feel like that once that wall is down, we over here, because I mean, what that just blows my mind. I don't know why that made it so far, and how they weren't looking at that like Berlin Wall. Like, how did they not see Berlin Wall just because it was a different material doesn't mean it wasn't still representing the same kind of crap. And so that just, I'm so glad that that's
so
over
now
with.
we just need to reunite those families.
Get them together.
Let's get them out of those cages, please.
Out of the cages, please. Yes, get the children back to their parents. And I know that they will really be working on
disgusting.
Some immigration reform so that it will be easier for people who have been living in the country undocumented to get citizenship. And I think that that's going to be remarkable. We've got to remember, I know there are a lot of people, and even Black people, like I'm surprised sometimes. I'm not surprised because I have to remember that our people were initially and have initially or have consistently been conservative. It's been kind of how Black people are to a certain degree. That's what we were for the longest. And I think it's important for all people to remember that immigration is how this country was founded. That's where it all started. That was how this thing started.
Because some people had migrated to the wrong direction and had stole some land.
Come on now, and started stealing land,
and then migrated somewhere else, and then migrated some people and made them build the land.
Come on now, triangular trade. Yes, the Middle Passage. Yes, and we'll definitely have to get into that some more too. But I feel good about this. Were there any other things that you wanted to add in about just like your big takeaways from the day? Because again, you're our analyst. I need to know what your final rundown, your final report on the issues is.
Well, I mean, all in all, I just was enjoying the moment for what it was, for sure. Like, again, for me, it was about being present in that moment and what that moment represented and the message that they were sending in that moment. I was all for it. That's all I can speak to. I feel like sometimes it's so easy for us to get caught up in the other stuff, but you got to be present and be grateful for the blessings that you do get in the moment. And we actually have a president now, so there's that.
Right.
We have diversity now, so there's that
too.
You know, and we have people, and we also have to trust those people that we went out and voted for locally and put in office. You know what I'm saying? And trust that those people are still going to have our best interests.
And we have to hold them accountable.
Yeah, and hold them accountable. Absolutely. 100%.
Yes. And so for me, my only takeaway, because I have to be, those of you who know me know that I'm a real stan. So you know what I did happen to see of the inauguration.
And that was, before you do that, because so that we can end on that positive of a note, I'll say the other one first.
Oh yes, go ahead.
Now I love J-Lo. I do. She's like the Hispanic Beyonce. Love me some J-Lo. However, J-Lo, girl, let's get loud. Girl,
J-Lo,
why you put "Let's Get Loud" in them people's song, girl? Why did you do that?
She wanted to spice up the stage a little, you know.
I was like, did she just say what I think she just... It's not in the song. J-Lo, girl, you tried it. We didn't need it. It was so out of place. It was so random. It had nothing to do with nothing. Girl, you could have kept that. We already knew who was singing. You didn't have to give us a hint and drop one of your singles in the song. Girl, we didn't need that. It's not about you.
J-Lo was like, I should take advantage of this moment. I want a little cha-cha in there.
What?
Yeah. But I will say, she was dressed. So she's always dressed.
Yes.
But I was living for this head to toe all white Chanel moment. It was, that was nice. I loved the look, J-Lo. You looked great.
I was cool
as always.
All the way up until she said, "Let's get loud." And then I said, all right now. Now, girl.
So of course I am a Lady Gaga stan. So of course I saw her sing the national anthem. And I will say it was a good performance. There were a couple moments where I was like, all right, sis, we don't need you doing that right there. That right there. You don't have to do that. You are Lady Gaga. You
I
have
mean, it did
achieved
look
a
a little
certain level.
windy, so maybe.
Yeah. Whatever. No. Because she did something like this at the VMAs, and I was like, "What? Why did you do that to that note? Stop it!" I sent her a text message, and I was like, we're not standing for it." But I have to say, she looked amazing, and I was just watching Little Monsters on Twitter. How proud her fandom is, but really, a lot of people, she's been active as a mainstream artist for about 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that she started out performing in like like IKEA's parking lots and doing these crazy performances and just being kind of wild, and then being here, and she's given this super classy, elegant, beautiful performance of the Star Spangled Banner. I'm just like, look at the growth, look at the material, look at it, bask in it, and I was impressed. I mean, I think, and even Garth Brooks, he had a performance, and I thought it was cool. I don't know if you noticed, but they were each wearing. Gaga was in red. She had the blue top, but she had the big red gown thing. J-Lo was in white and Garth Brooks was in blue. And so they were in patriotic colors for the day. And I thought that was nice. As they were the ones to perform at the inauguration. And then there was the
Could you imagine seeing some Amy Winehouse get them? Could you imagine? I could have seen Amy Winehouse get in a moment like that.
Yes. Absolutely. I would have.
That would have been so dope.
If she had still been living, she probably would have been singing at Obama's inauguration. Mm-hmm. I don't doubt that he would have had her somewhere in that. Just based off
whenever I see Lady Gaga, I'd be like, man, Amy Winehouse could have did all of this.
Mm-hmm.
No shade, and that's in a positive way. I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah.
I'd be like, dang,
yeah.
Could you imagine if they had collaborated?
What I really would have lived for
I love
was
Amy Winehouse.
I lived for Amy Winehouse. I would have lived for Amy Winehouse Adele collaboration because they went to the same high school. And that would have been, they went to the same performing arts high school, not at the same time, but they both went. And I think that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like that little British Cockney back to the roots moment, whatever. But
seeing Lady Gaga go from that wild, crazy girl, that we love. Don't get me wrong, that we love,
absolutely love.
See, her growth and who she is now. I would have loved to see that transition with Amy Winehouse. It would have been so dope.
It would have. So that is very true. It would have been man, if she would have been in that space to have been able to get it together. There's no telling what else we would have gotten. Because if you think about it, she only released 2 albums.
And I was here for it.
And Back to Black was that album.
It was
Frank was good. Frank was great, but I still listen to Back to Black. I still listen to Back to Black. So there we go, going on a little tangents. I love it. Before we get up out of here, I know that there were some more performances. I didn't watch them. I told you guys I was busy
I didn't
yesterday.
Watch the party.
I didn't watch all of the performances at the party. I know Katy Perry did Firework and some other people did some other stuff. And I'm sure that they did great jobs and that they were spectacular. But we really were more focused on seeing, because I think as we've gotten older, especially
I was focused on the hand on the Bible and then being all right, now it's you. And
now,
I was like, okay, that's what I was waiting though.
Because what I think as I've gotten older, I'm really looking forward to holding him accountable and being part of the collective that holds him accountable, and knowing now, being versed enough in politics and economics and knowing what's going on in the world enough to be like, hey, that's not what you said though on this day. You told us you were going to do this, or being like, you're saying this, but the numbers are telling me that. I need to know if 1 and 1 is 2. And 2 and 2 is 4. Okay. What is this?
What are you right now?
Yes. So I'm honestly looking forward to seeing how this presidency unfolds and just what 2021 has left for us, because I'm praying and believing there's nothing, we're only going up from here. Like, we're only going up from here. So I'm hoping and believing that's what we got going on. I feel good about it. I feel good about it. And I think that was
we
even
got
something,
a lot to get through.
Get through. But he even Biden even said that he was like, this is the best he feel like right now. How he feels, or how he felt yesterday, was he just really felt like Americans, this is the best moment for us, and we're about to move forward, and we're about to push through, and we're about to go to a better space.
Stand on his word, and it'll happen. That's
It'll
literally
happen.
all he has to do.
That's it.
Stand on your word. Do what you said.
There it is.
That's it. Because you knew exactly what to say to me, so I know you know. Just do it. That's all. That's all you got to do. We be patient.
Love it. So, as always, every episode, our favorite segment is For the Culture. Yeah. Our business shout out that we do every single episode, shouting out Black businesses that we support, whether they be large, whether they be small. These are moments where we really like to take the time and shout out someone who is doing the damn thing. So, who you got for us this week, D?
Okay, so the person that I have is Terrence Jackson Jr., a Detroit native, who launched during the panoramic. Ooh, we try not to say that word. The panoramic. He launched his own bowling alley on wheels. So basically, it's a luxury strike mobile bowling alley. It's 2 25-foot lanes. It has an automatic ball return, automatic pin resetters, and a digital scorekeeper. So literally, like, if you having a party and you having a private party and y'all want to bowl, call up the mobile bowler and be like, hey, come on down to the such and such. We trying to bowl at this party and we private, and it's gonna be lit. I would love to have like 2 little bowling lanes in my house when I get grown.
That is cool. Yes, grown. I'm living for it. I'm with it. I'll come over and I'll bowl. You already know.
Because when you get you a house, that's when you grown.
Right. Like, let me tell you, it's on my list. That's on my list. Yes. So for me, for my first For the Culture this year, I've got a page that was actually recommended to me by my friend Aisha. She's been recommending me some stuff lately, and it's been turning out just nice. And this is a friend of hers, Amina, and it is Celestial Metaphysical. I know, a mouthful. So you can find them on Instagram at Celestial Metaphysical _co. And what they're known for, or what she's known for, is she provides tools for metaphysical empowerment and manifestation, including like sign readings. There are these really nice, like, organic candles that she makes based off of people's different signs. So it'll have different essential oils, different essences in them that are specific to that sign and what that sign needs for balance. And she makes the jewelries, guys. So she's got the little rings and the little things that could be perfect for, just getting in tune with your celestial self. So yes, y'all go check out Amina on the IG. Again, that's Celestial Metaphysical _co. And it's a really cool page. She does something all the time. It's a cute little clean, just really crisp image. I live for it. I live for some marketing now, and just some really consistent branding. And she is good for it. So yes. Well,
you got to be on ours.
Look, come on now. Yes, guys, let us know what y'all think about this new logo. We got some more teams coming this year that'll be coming soon. So let us know what y'all think about this, and engage with us. This has been a great, I feel like, first episode for a second season. I'm super excited for what else we have planned for the rest of this year. And of course, like we say every episode, if no one's told you yet, we'll be the first to tell you. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you every week here at the 50 Lamb Chronicles. And our one wish for you is that every day you get to know yourself just a little bit better. So until the next episode, 50 Lamb fam, we love you, and peace.
Peace. Smooches.